Hello, everyone. I believe I am streaming now, and I'm going to give it a few moments if you're watching this video later. I do sort of vamp in the first couple of moments to give Twitch time to send out an email letting my followers know that I'm live. And you need to watch a commercial, and then you get to see the live stream. So if you're watching this later, just move ahead a little bit. Once you see code on my screen, then I'm really starting. So just going to make sure also that folks can hear me. Hopefully I will see a chat very soon letting me know that you hear me. If you are new to this channel and you're checking it out, my name is Melissa Wanish. All right, good. You can hear us. My name is Melissa Wanish, and I am the founder of RubyThursday.com. It's a tutorial site for junior Rails developers. And I am now live streaming a project that I'm building for myself to use and for others to use, hopefully. It is an invoicing app, and its main focus right now is to collect or for clients to sign up to a subscription, so like a monthly retainer. So that is what we have been working on. Of course, I am trying some new things, and especially with Stripe, they have a version 3 that now has some elements to it that are different. And then also I'm using Rails 5.1, which does not have jQuery as its default. And so I'm looking at using plain old JavaScript, which there are not a lot of examples out there for. But that's sort of the way things are going. I'm not fully leveling up into, I think it's ES6 JavaScript, but we're working on it. If you happen to be around yesterday, September 6th, and watched, and you'll notice there's actually not a September 6th video. I deleted it. I spent about 2 hours trying to figure out what the JavaScript errors were all about. I did some debugging. It looked as if like the form was going too quickly, and therefore it wasn't saving the subscription. It wasn't having that token. And I played with it afterwards and found out and realized really what was going on. And I'm going to go to the code and show you. And then, so if you're skipping from like the other day, I was working on getting Stripe JavaScript to load in the correct order, and we got that figured out. So now we're trying to get that token, and I got the token, and so that's a huge thing. So I will now show you where we are, and again we're working on creating that subscription. So we need a token first. So today, once I show you where we are, we're going to get right to working with the Stripe API and creating a customer and a subscription. So for me, more fun than staring at JavaScript. So I may have to clean up my JavaScript file a little bit here. I did kind of shut down the computer at midnight last night, so we'll see exactly where it is. And let's go ahead to the code. Let's get to it. Hopefully people have had a chance to hop on. And if you're here live, please say hi. That'd be great. If not, I know I'm recording this without letting a whole lot of people know, and so I will be sharing the recordings later. But if you're here, say hi, and I will be checking back to the comments throughout. And I'm only going to be on for about an hour and a half, or less than. I do have a client call at 3:30 Eastern time, so that I'm going to end a little bit at 3-ish. So it's only about an hour and 10 minutes from now. So a little bit of a short day. So here we are. The main thing I found, let me close that. The main thing that I found, and looking back at other projects and thinking about it with working with Stripe and getting this token, is that turbo links gets in the way. So the minute I took out turbo links, it submitted the form correctly. or almost correctly. But it got further. So Turbo Links was messing me up. And I actually remember in several other apps, I have the link to the checkout page, and I have the link itself say, you know, Turbo Links false or whatever that syntax is, but saying don't use Turbo Links for this page, for this link. So that's what happens. And looking through different Stack Overflow things reminded me that that's one issue that comes up. And so what's actually happening though, and I'll show you, it's kind of interesting, it's submitting the form twice. And with Turbo Links activated, it would just do the first one, which was without a token. When I took away Turbo Links, it would then show both of them going through. That's why when I slowed it down, per se, when I went to debugging, it slowed it down enough, so to speak, that it was doing the second time. And I was noticing that then in my server log. So here we got probably, all right, so I kept that as is. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of stuff in here. We're going to deal with that button differently. I'm going to take out all my fun console logs. But you see a little bit of what I was just trying to make happen. Console log. In fact, I really don't need this. Let's simplify this again. Back to what it was. So this all was working okay. Some more console logs. This actually was all working. It was the fact that, it's actually posting twice. So I don't know why it's posting twice. And I'll show you the Stack Overflow. It gave a couple of options of trying to deal with that, but I think I'm going to deal with it differently. But here we are. Let's go ahead. I think I have a different project open. You'll see a little bit of some stuff. This is actually just now working on some client stuff, so I need to close that. All right. Oh, and CD into okay. So here we are. Let's run our server again, and I'll show you what was happening. And basically, I'm not going to deal with it, but I want to show you it. And if anyone has any thoughts or finds any other posts, feel free to share. I'm going to change up my controller a little bit to not care so much if the token is there or not. We're going to send it back to the user in a different way. And then I do have on my to-do list dealing with the button, because we haven't dealt with that, making sure that you can't click it twice. So there might be some more things to finesse with the form, but I'm itching to move on to dealing with the actual Stripe API. But let me just show you here so that, oh, yes, I have, okay, good. I'm live here. Okay, so I actually tested this again. So we're going to Invoice, which is 1, subscriptions new. Okay, no longer has Turbo Links activated. What I may do is go ahead and use a different layout, because my other, where the vendor goes, it's going to be more like a one-page app. And so Turbo Links will help that. So I probably will have different layouts. But let's just show you here that, so again, the example, the test card for Stripe is 4242. And, I just go February 27. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 123 as the CSV. So we'll complete payment, and hopefully this is still what it was doing last night. Oh no! Oh, I got it working last night. What did I take out? Okay, so when it's doing JS here, is when it doesn't work. So in cleaning up my files, something else is happening. You know, I actually had this not in here. All right, so let's refresh. We may have to make sure that the refresh isn't what's making it work as well. Complete payment. Oh. Had it all working last night. Okay, well, you know what I just did? I actually did on the application here. I actually put this back. So let's see if I just have to dispense it with it all together, because that's what makes it load more than once. Okay. So again, well, give me, oops, and a thank you. Right, so turbo, that's what it was to begin with. All right, then, potentially I'm just going to have to not have turbo links. It's giving me issues. You know, I could spend another a day trying to make it work. It's a small enough app. We'll see, you know, what the performance is like once we get all of it in there. But right now I'm just going to go without. And we'll take this back out because it's giving me an error for the style sheet. But you see it has oops and thank you. So, and if we go here, it tried once as JS without any token, and then again as HTML with the token put in. So there you see it's going twice. So then I saw, okay, well, that's happening. What do I look up? You know, okay, it's happening twice. So I found this Stack Overflow. And so that guy just had, you know, it twice. And this person is saying, you know, it's hacky, but he did it back in 2012, so I don't know. You know, dealing with it happening twice. Or this person said, hey, if, you know, you can put some if statements into the JavaScript to make sure it only puts it in once. I think I'd rather, nothing is happening badly, except that I have this little if statement. If it's there, go ahead. If not, redirect. So it's doing both. So I'm not going to do this. All right. I'm going to instead make an if statement, like if the customer's created, if the plan's created, if it happens, let's move on. If not, then we come back with an error message. That's what I'm going to do instead. So we're not going to have this if statement at all. All right, we're just going to, I saw in another project, oh, let's see, actually, where I ended up doing this, because if for some reason this is not there, then just having this by itself will stop the action and give an error. So I put the if statement in there, and I'm going to handle it more, you know, saying, okay, now we've hopefully fixed our Stripe token issues, and we'll just keep an eye out for it. That's what I'm going to do. Again, if you have any thoughts on it, feel free, but I have to get moving on this. So we're just going to go with this for now. Also, if you're watching the other video and then skipping right to this one, I did change up just to make sure customer email. If you were watching and following along, it was just saying email in certain places, but it needs to say customer email everywhere. So that was something I realized the other day. So I, then added this expectation. So if you're watching video to video, just wanted to point that out. Okay. Whew. So we're going to check the box on JavaScript for the moment and move on without turbo links. And we are going to, let me just close our server and just, it's a work in progress, but let's keep it where it is right now, as we move to the next part. So I'm still going to call it a work in progress. Submitting token, but happening twice. Just going to handle errors after trying to send to Stripe API. Okay. And there's also, you saw the elements, the JavaScript itself is going to give a bunch of errors anyway. It's watching it, it's making sure it's all filled in, that it's enough numbers, like that has a lot of validations to begin with. And we should double check that those are working, but it's doing a lot of that anyway. So hopefully when they hit that button, it's a real number and everything's filled out. Whether or not it's going to make a charge, that's on the API side anyway. Okay. Now we are going to put in that. Okay, thank you. Now we need to put in some expectations to make sure that an actual customer was created and that a plan or subscription was created on Stripe's side. So let's add some validations here that are going to fail. I believe, why don't we, well, I was playing with all that JavaScript. Let's see if it, oh, and also within frame here. Did I do that yesterday? No, I did that the day before. That's right. Let's see where this is right now. I haven't run this since manually making sure that we got a token. I think it should work because we no longer have turbo links. Because basically it was failing at what I was saying on the server. It was showing oops instead of thank you. Alright, it's the first time I've run this here. Okay, yes. Because I don't want you to. I can't find variable turbo length. Where is it being called? Where else do I need to get rid of it? Where else? So, I mean, application.js took it out. There. Do I need to remove the gem? Oh, a new version of Bundler came out. Alright, well, it's fine for now. Let's see if removing the gem gets rid of that error message. I did see that when we were running it. That was in the console. Where else are we referencing it? Right. Okay. So here, you know, because we're saying that we've told Capybara to tell us whenever there is an error. And I think the other day I mentioned, I was like, oh, I don't really, this error doesn't really bother me, but it's going to bother my tests. So, there's a few options here. We could remove that from our test and call it manually instead of for every test that has JS true, and just call it, you know, at one particular spot just to make sure that checkout page has the correct JavaScript and there are no errors. We could only load Stripe on this page and not any other page. I believe when we were going through docs, it didn't really recommend that because that would make the app a little more vulnerable. Because if you have these validations and you need the token. I forget why it said that. It said it somewhere. Let's. I think it's like this side here. It's telling it where to put it, including Stripe. Okay, so it says to best leverage Stripe's advanced fraud functionality, include this script on every page on your site, not just the checkout page. This allows Stripe to detect anomalous behavior that may be indicative of fraud as users browse your site. Then it would tell you about it. So, I'm all about preventing fraud. So, let's leave it there and let's change our test. Because it's a test, not the end all be all there. So I do want to WebKit no errors. Let's see. Is that here? Let's see. Errors and exceptions, but I only want to do that. Let me just do this. Let's see, we got that from our Ruby Thursday project and then it didn't work, but let's look at that again. And that was a test to see our home. Expect page not to have errors. Did that not work anymore? Let's see. So we're gonna, in the Rails helper, take out that one. And we're going to add it here because we want to visit this page as long as it loads. Not to have errors. Let's see what happens now. All right. To respond to has errors, but that's not really a thing anymore. That's what led me to changing it to this. What if we use that? Is that something we can call right in here? I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Let's see. Misspelled it. Let's see if it gives me anything else when it's spelled right. Let's now blah blah session, but let's just take out that part. I find deleting those particular things helps with your Google. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so I thought we were. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, well. I'll look at one more thing and otherwise I'm going to move on. $13. But maybe this is too old. Maybe it's been depreciated and gone now. The other project, are we using Selenium? I might be. No, it's WebKit. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I mean, it looks to me like we have everything in place, but doesn't like it. Let's just take it out. You know, if we have issues, then we can put it back. All right, let's go ahead and try to get it green. Nope. Got two. Oh no. So it's submitting twice and getting it to happen twice. Oh, sadness. Okay. All right, it's happening now with or without that token. Let's put it back. Just say if it has that token. We don't have an else statement. We could... This is sort of mid process here. Let's just see what that does. So it should just have one. I'm not sure what's going to happen. If it's going to say I can't find it. Let's see. Nope. It passed. Okay. Let's leave it like that. I am gonna handle if for some reason this doesn't happen. You know what the else would be. But let's move forward for now. So, right, putting together other expectations. So let's go ahead and edit this to expect to have attributes and let's do a couple of attributes. So we have our customer email needs to equal client email. Now we're going to make sure, and I think let's make sure what we added here a little bit ago with subscriptions. We need to have both of these. So ID for subscription. And ID for customer. Let's make sure we have both of those. So what I have done in the past is, because these are going to be new, and they're usually strings starting with certain letters for stripe. So that's easy enough to do. I think that's in my example code. Right, a string starting with blah blah. Right, so it's not a charge. In our case, oh, a. So they'll be different. But let's go back. Comma. All right, so now we can look at the. I have closed the API. Let's open that back up. I think customer is CUST. That seems like it should be like that. Let's see. Customer. Yeah. Oh no, just CUS. And let's see what subscription is. Is SUB. Okay, so as long as they have those in place, and what we'll probably add to here as well, because I think we did this in onboarding. No, invoice is then deleting. We can create a few, and then we'll add deleting them so that your test data just doesn't get just completely filled up. And I have noticed that on other testing that I'm doing. So when you're live testing, you want to clean that up. And so let's go ahead and, so this should fail. All right, let's make sure it fails. Unexpected T label. Oh, well, maybe it's the space. Yes. Okay, so right now both of these are no. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to need to create the customer and then create the subscription. And what did we put that right in for invoices? Yeah, we put it down there. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm probably going to move all of this into a service to have all of the Stripe information together. I should probably go ahead at this point to do that. Trying to think if that's... I'm going to create a plan. Let's first make sure it works, and then we can move it over. Because it's pretty much moving these methods into a service and then handling it like a plain old Ruby object. So But let's go ahead and just make sure it works first. Let's put it under here. So we're going to create customer. And we're going to need the token. And we're going to need the Stripe account, because it's not our customer as the platform, it's the connected accounts customer. I think that's all we're going to need. So let's go to our back to customers. Create. We need a description and a source. So we could also have email. So description, they put customer for email. You can also have the email as well. I think that might be a nice thing. And then the source. So let's do that. Okay, so it's Stripe customer create. Also, I think in this case, let's go ahead and tell the connected account where this came from. So let's do gig, we're calling the site Gig Tilt. Customer. The first one we use email. Unless I just need to send in all the params. Well, let's do it like this. If it gets to be more, we'll just send in all the params. But we're going to be moving that into a service anyway. So let's do this. For now, let's see. Plus email. Let's have a space in there. Source is the token. And then just double checking. Right, so when you are adding this Stripe account, it needs also to be in a hash. Okay. Sorry, looking at invoices. Right, not this yet. It's basically what it looks like. We'll do it slightly differently, and we'll have it be the Stripe account. Now we still need the ending parentheses. Oh, all of this over like that. Great. Okay. So now it'll be customer equals, oh, let's create customer. We need all of those things. All right, so we actually have to set something up here. So the invoice, right? So vendor equals, and we may make this a method on invoice. But for right now, let's type it all out. Vendor equals invoice dot vendor stripe count equals vendor dot stripe UID. That's what it is. Okay. Great. Then this is already, we've defined. And then this, let's define it. Customer email equals, we're only using it here. I don't feel like we need to have the ats. We're only using it in this little area. Okay, customer create. Okay, so email. Oh, wait. Equals params subscription. Yeah. Oh, wait. Add subscription dot customer email. I don't feel like we need to do all that. Let's just do this. Let's go put the ad back. Let's do that. Let's just make sure we have access to them. I don't think we need access to vendor later. We do need access to customer later. Okay. Great customer. There we go. Now, let's do at see, our thing is called subscription, so I don't want to I don't want to use that again. It's Stripe subscription equals, so we need one more thing here, create and we're going to need the customer. We're going to need the plan. Let's see what else we need. Oh, and items. Plan goes under items? Well, plan quantity. Interesting. I guess if you bought more than one subscription. How do you say a customer? Oh, okay, you put customer in there. I see. All right, so if you didn't have customer, you could use source, but no, it says acquired. Okay, so we need items and then plan. Okay, so that I think is all we need. So it would be Stripe create. Do we need to feed in their account again? I would think so. I would think so. So parentheses, and then also hash. So that's customer, items, that's plural, yes, and then it's an array and then a hash. Okay, array, and they do it like this. Okay, plan. Okay, comma. Oh, Stripe count. This is just bugging me. I like this better. Okay. Okay, so we need all of these things. So the customer is at this customer here. Plan is the invoice dot plan ID. What did we call that? ID for plan. Just so that we can be sure it's in the same spot. So it's at invoice dot ID for plan. And oh, we decided to have these as at. Okay. So now we got all that happening, and we'll need to handle errors, but let's see if it just works first. And so what we'll need to do is add subscription. ID for customer equals at customer. Then ID for subscription. At Stripe. Now here's the thing. So this is these two things. This. All right. So this is the response. Okay. So the response is all these things. We are looking for the ID. Right? Because this is looking for an ID. So it's actually customer.id. And because it's first level, you can just use the dot. Sometimes these JSONs get more complicated, so you need to kind of dig in, but I think that's enough. Got it, because these are responses. You know, we might want to name it to be a little clearer. That it's a response and that's not something, you know, from our system. Response, because at response tells you. So this is response, right? I think that's a little clearer. Then we know it's the ID of the response that we're saving, so that if we need to make any changes, also we're going to be pulling in like when's the next payment, that kind of stuff. So we need to save this. Okay. Let's see what happens. So this is making a call. I think I have everything set up. I did change to use a different Stripe account as the platform, not Ruby Thursday. I did create an account underneath, you know, in the same login for Stripe, but it's called Get Gig Tilt instead. Invoice. Okay, what line is that? Probably line 14. Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, something happened. All right. Well, this is when you can start. Probably some error from Stripe, but we're not handling the error. Let me see if I have example code. They can tell us what's wrong. Form we don't do anymore. Right. I used to be able to do that, and it doesn't work now. Okay. Oh, it didn't handle exceptions in this one. We're gonna open up my courseware. Hopefully I put it in there. Open folder. Oh, I have more on a different volume. We have all kinds of validations going on. New. Rescue exception flash alert e-message. So, Okay. I'm just gonna put the actual alert from Stripe. So let's go back to where are we gonna go back to? All right, would be new. Voice subscription path. Now we went there anyway. Oh, we're not showing. It went back to new, and we're just not showing the subscription errors. I wonder if we need this. We may. I'm just gonna comment it out for now. But we didn't put in all that stuff to show errors. Did we do that for Invoice? Yes. Oh, we use form 4 here, not form width. We should change this up too later. Okay, then so let's go to, wait. Couldn't. All right, let's see if we get anything to come up. If not, we'll add that other error. Hopefully now we'll get some error message, maybe. No. Middle class, line 17. Is that, no, subscription is controller. Ah. Okay. Forgot to change that up. This all is coming right from the params there. Okay. Wonder why it didn't give me this error earlier. I don't know. Seems like that should have been the first error instead of it can't find it. Okay. Yay! All right. Fantastic. Yay! Okay. Let's save it where it is. We still need to handle errors from Stripe, but that's great. We can now have different tests for that. That's fine. So let's commit this. Git commit. Add methods for creating customer and creating plan. All right. Now let's see what the most important thing to do now is. Let me check and see if anyone's made any comments. Totally fine if you haven't. Just making sure. I promised I would. Okay. And nope, no comments. That's totally fine. So let's look back here. So they paid. That's great. And I think what we were going to do. Oh, I'll have to reload. I doubt there's anything new, but it's actually almost 3. So we could make sure of a couple of cleanup things. I want to be sure that if you get an error when you hit, I want to make sure we have that the button disabled and has a little message, and then if there's an issue that it becomes live again. So I want to do that really quickly because that's something that kind of got lost in transferring over from the jQuery examples that I had to the examples that Stripe had for just plain JavaScript. But I looked around at the Rails UJS a little bit and saw that you still have all those data attributes. And I bookmarked something earlier. So it's disable with, right? And then you can have a little message. So I think that would be fun. Disable with, please wait. I would like to try this. Let's see if this works. And that would be on the view. So we have HTML. We now have data. Disable with, please wait. Okay, I'll let my designer decide if that's enough. You could also have, I saw an example, it's in the same one, where somebody put like a little spinning guy, a font awesome spinner. Might be cool. But let's just see. So let's Rails S. So these are the form validations I'm making sure, not really hitting the API. So I'm just making sure, like, if we accidentally hit the submit button too soon and then it gives me an error message, that I can fix my error and continue. So I want to just make sure that's the case. 21 tries. How many tries? Uh-oh. It's unhappy. Oh, 2 commas. Okay, so let's see if we just forget to put anything in there. If we complete payment, it says, oh, please outfill this. Okay, well, that's some JavaScript. Excellent. So at every stage here. Did it say please wait? I feel like it did. No, it just disabled it a little bit. I made it result.error. Oops, I have one more. Console. Message there. Great. So let's just see if we do this correctly now with the correct number. So this is with the correct number for stripe to test. Let's see what happens. Or manually. Oh, it didn't say. And I can actually hit it again, can't I? Let's see what happened. It says thank you. Let's see what happened here. Did I do it twice? There's a customer. ID for subscription. Create as JS has a Stripe token. Oh. So does the HTML. And then an error message. Looks like I only put it in once. But I didn't get my little please wait. Oh, I like my little please wait. That, you know, validation for the person, you know, if you don't feel like it does anything. You know what? I'm going to wait till all the design is in. And then we're going to mess with it. I'm going to leave that in for now. But it also did pretty much work. It only happened once. It's got this nonsense going on. But let's get all the design in and make sure before we mess it up. So I feel like this is an excellent place to stop for today because I have a call at 3:30. I think what we'll do next and potentially later in the day, if there is time, I'm not sure there will be, but the next thing is to move everything, yes, into that service object and put the design in. Let's reverse it. Let's put the design in, get it up live, send to my clients, and then we'll make some update. We'll make some improvements to the code because once we start getting subscriptions, also for the people using the platform, let's put everything in that service object and make it all nice and pretty, and not just in the controller. The only other thing to do on Stripe also is, once we get up to the staging server, we're also going to want Stripe to send the receipt emails, and so I'll have to turn that on. But I'll do that after we put in the design, we get everything up on staging, we're testing the whole process out, and one big thing we need to do for the design is that I'm going to have to put the design of those elements into the JavaScript. So that's a new thing I haven't done either, playing around with that. So I think that's what's the next thing to do. Okay. Maybe I should write that on Trello to remind myself what I'm supposed to do next. Next up is, I really should have written out like lists, but we're doing this quickly, and you see when you don't fully plan, you're kind of remembering what's next. And you spend time working on this, not that, not staying focused. So having a list of what to do really does keep you focused, and you can see what happens when you don't. But let's do a checklist. I know it may just be one thing, but add design. For a page, add design. Well, I mean, it's front ends. Okay, but add design for card elements. And at this point, because I'm the only one using it, we're going to launch it as is. We may change that, but let's do that. So the next part is deploy to staging. Have Stripe send emails. Test on staging, and then deploy to production. Okay, so I know that's a little bit too much to put on this ticket, but I just wanted to see where we were. Actually, let's test for Stripe errors, because that's important. Because what if folks... Let's do it there. Okay. All right, so that's it for today. Quick little session, but I'm feeling way better. There are days when you just end up at the same place you started. But today I feel like we made progress. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all soon. All right, bye-bye.